વાસ્તવિકતાઓ કરે. Or we might wish it to be. Or what is the in imagination or romance mean? We have hope for that in the in the movies. We know how the hero was going by the traveling in the bus or train, and the heroine was meet, and there was a in the one compartment or in one seat, both the talk with each other and they have to fall in the love. And we might be happen in our life also. We can also dream in our life. I also traveling somewhere and this kind of incident happened with me. We can also dream like that the hero was destroyed, or we can say they defeated the villain in the movies, or great powerful politician in the movie. And we also think, imagine that it also happened in our life, and we also defeated a powerful politician, and we might wish it to be. Realism gives the picture of life as it is, romance as it might be, or we might wish it to be. એવું થાય એવી આપણે we might wish એટલે we have to આપણે આશા રાખીએ, શુભેચ્છા. વાસ્તવિકતા એટલે જેવું હોય તેવું, રોમાન્સ તથા ઇમેજિનેશન એટલે જેવું એવું થાય એવી સંભાવનાઓ કે શક્યતાઓની આશા રાખીએ. એન્ડ થર્ડ, fancy, or we can use the other word friends, fantasy. We can remember the word fantasy. Ullala, ullala, tu hai meri fantasy. There was a popular song of Vidya Balan, and on the movie based on the life of the Silk Smita, and there was in the fantasy. And oh yeah, why should I forget that? Remember that word also you heard in your mind. Yes, and BA Semester 1 Foundation course or compulsory English. The name of the book is what? Fantasy, a collection of short story. Fantasy એટલે દિવસ એક પરિકલ્પના, પરિકલ્પના. And here fancy or fantasy gives picture of the life as it could never be. Fantasy or fancy suggests the picture of life in a literary work of art or any other there, but it could also suggest in a possibility. Never be. It was never possible that kind of the happen. It never possible that kind of the in some scientific movies, scientific fiction. In we have to say the Avenger movie. There are a number of planets they have to suggest. In Avenger Infinity War and Avenger series you have to watch the movie. Otherwise we can say that. So what happened? Even our Chris, there was other planet બીજા ગ્રહો બતાવે. In Avenger series there are a number of the planet and powerful, Captain America and other cross and other powerful. That it is the fancy of the, we can say that it is a fancy. And fancy suggests that it never be. I want to simply add, realism means I simple try to understand in Gujarati. Don't worry, you are not write down in the link question. You have to understand what is the difference between imagination and fancy and reality. So realism એક પિક્ચર ચિત્ર બતાવી છે, જીવન જેવું હોય તેવું રજૂ કરે. રોમાન્સ અથવા ઇમેજિનેશન એટલે શું? કે એ જીવનનું ચિત્ર બતાવે, કેવું જીવન કે જે માઇક હોય તો, અથવા એવા જીવનને વી વિશ ટુ બી, આપણે એવી આશા રાખીએ એવું જીવન હોય. એન્ડ ફેન્સી ફેન્ટસી તો એ ધ લાઈફ ઓફ પિક્ચર, એ જીવન કેવું રહે છે કે જેવું કે જે કદાચ ઇન રિયાલિટી ઇટ વોઝ નોટ પોસિબલ, કે જેવું એ શક્ય ક્યારે છે નહીં. And here now we can make understand through the example. So where we have to find out the fancy imagination in a number of the places in our real or reality life also we use the imagination. Image karo, what happened then? हमें घना ध्यान રાખો, કલ્પના તો કરો, પડે હોય તો ફિલ્મો શું હાલત થતા રહી. ઇમેજ કર શું થયો તમે, એટલે ધ્યાનથી ગાડી ચલાવીએ ને સો શેર તમને શું થયો, ઇમેજ કર કેવી હાલત થતો આપણી. And that was imagination we applied it again and again in your real life also. Yeah, imagination power. But fancy, what is the fancy used in a fairy literature? પરી FAIR ફેરી એટલે પરી પરીઓની કથાઓ ફેરી લિટરેચર એક સુંદર રાજકુમાર હતો અને આ ઘોડા પર આવ્યો ઇટ વોઝ ધ સ્ટોરી ઓફ ધેટ ઇટ ઇઝ કોલ્ડ ધ ફેરી સુંદર પરી હતી there was સોન પરી and black પરી and that was we have to in what the TV serial for the children they going on that I have to know about that and here in there here they use the fairy literature and I give the one example you have to William Shakespeare, great dramatist of the tragedy and comedy. Great dramatist of the tragedy and comedy. This William Shakespeare wrote, and oh yeah, why should I forget that? You studied, dear friends, in semester 1 or we can semester 2. Which of the romantic comedy of William Shakespeare? Remind. Yeah. A Midsummer's Night Dreams. Which books you study? A Midsummer Night's Dreams. What? A Midsummer Night Dreams. Puck and fairies. Yes. There is the character of Puck. He can become the face of the donkey. And there was a Titania. And there was a fairy. And these of the scene, it is called the fancy. It is called fancy. You have to already study the William Shakespeare romantic comedy, A Midsummer Night Dream. And here there was a scene of the Titania and the Puck, and they came in the forest. And here there was a scene of the put a drop of the liquid in the eyes, and whenever a person look at the sea and he fall in that love. And this is the fancy. And one more realistic example I give you that. Everybody look at that. J.C. Rowling. Heard the name of J.C. Rowling? Okay, you not remember that. But what is the J.C. Rowling is? Harry Potter series. Now I remember. Anybody has there watched the movie? One of the movie of the 7 or 8 movie of the Harry Potter. Harry Potter series. There was a number of movies. There was a boy was with and he can. Their bamboos, jadu kore mukto. It is the Harry Potter. It is the story of, you can say, the series of fairy literature. And here they use the fancy in this literature. Okay, friend. Now we can get a glance of the word. In shortly, briefly repeat the whole of them. Fancy. St. Coleridge, Samuel Turner Coleridge, in his critical work. Biography Literature differentiated fancy and imagination, because fancy and imagination is a key factor or distinctive element of his theory of poetry. In this theory of poetry, in chapter 40 he defined the imagination, and here he differentiated what is the fancy and what is imagination, because there was a theme, hairline gap or difference between the fancy and imagination. Imagination is a magical or synthesis power and is somehow believable to us. But what is fancy? So he can give that definition of the fancy. Here he can say that fancy is applied to any literary work in which imagination gives a full play or highest level or highest form of the imagination. Or we can define peak point of imagination is called the fancy. But now we can easily or generally you can understand that we have to compare the three: reality or realism gives the picture of life as it is. Second, romance or imagination gives the picture of life as it might be, or we wish, and or we could or we might wish to be. And third, fancy or fantasy gives the picture of life as it could never be. Okay, friends, I ask the question to you that from this video you have to, if listen this video carefully, to give the answer of this question. ST Coleridge. ST Coleridge. Okay. From which book of ST Coleridge? From which book of ST Coleridge the term fancy and imagination are taken? From which book of ST Coleridge the fancy and imagination are taken? Okay friend, watch the video.